Hey everybody, it's Kelly Cooper and welcome to another Facebook Live video. I see my husband there in the background putzing around. Can you get yourself settled there so I can... It's distracting me. Anyway, not his fault though. Okay, so today's question I'll be doing is, how could I break my habit of self-sabotage? And I really liked this question because it speaks to an element of human energy that's not accounted for in the theory of the law of attraction, right? In theory, all you're being asked to do is just believe the law of attraction is a real thing, focus your energy positively, blah, 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 right? And that is really the gist, that is all it is. But again, the reality of manifesting is very different because human energy has a lot of other components to it that, again, theory is not accounting for. So whether or not you believe in the law of attraction and focusing your energy positively, that's probably not going to be the only issue you're going to have to work on. And that's actually not a big problem that we have all of this stuff. It's only going to be a problem if you fight it and huff and puff like a little kid that you don't want to do your inner work and you just want the universe to give you your stuff, right? So here's the thing with self-sabotage. No matter how unhappy you are in your life right now with certain elements of your life or just in general, sorry about that banging fucking neighbor. They're always doing something over there, constant projects, and I don't even know. But anyway, I hope it's not too distracting. It's bothering me a little bit. Your mind is very comfortable with where you are right now. Again, even though consciously you might be miserable, you want this, you don't want that, and then whatever, right? But comfortable. If it's familiar, even if it makes you unhappy, it's familiar, it's comfortable. You get up every day and you know what to expect. Again, even if you're unhappy, you're probably very used to being unhappy. You're very used to not having the stuff you want. You're used to you know what I'm saying? So even though you're unhappy, you're comfortable, you're used to it. So you have to understand your mind is very happy to kind of keep you where you are. Again, even if consciously you're like, no, I'm rejecting this. And don't take offense at this statement. And it's being suggested that you like being unhappy and you want all the shit in your life. No, of course not. But a deeper part of you is very comfortable with where you are. So any change, even if it's viewed as a positive change, even if it's a consciously you want this change, a deeper part of you is like, no, thank you. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with all of this new stuff. I don't know what to expect with that. I have to do things that are new and difficult and no, thank you, right? So you have to understand how your mind operates and why I talk about the mind a lot, because the way your mind operates is going to fuck your shit up as a conscious creator. And you need to be aware of how it operates, and you need to not try to force it to change because it's not going to change, but you need to not get invested in all its chatter and the way it does things. And you have to be willing to reject it. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing you have to think about with self-sabotage is, again, you're very comfortable with where you are. Even if you don't like it, it's comfortable. You know what to expect. One of the biggest energetic blocks for people with getting their stuff is there's actually a part of them that doesn't want it. There's a negative association with this thing that consciously, hi, Nicole, you want. And again, you don't want to reject all this stuff outright because your mind hears all of this. A part of your mind hears it and gets very offended by all of this, thinking, well, it's suggested you want to be unhappy and you want to struggle. And it's like, well, fuck that, no. And then you shut all this shit down. Don't do that. You have to explore these things. You might have a negative association with the thing that you claim to want consciously. And if you have a negative association with it, your mind is gonna try to not bring it into your life. It will zero in on things that will keep it from you. It will keep you in habits and patterns of behavior and all of this stuff and an energy that keeps it from you. Because again, getting it to a big part of you, it's not such a great thing. And when you explore these energetic conflicts, there's a couple things you really, really want to keep in mind. Emotionally speaking, most of us, we're basic bitches. We're not as complicated as we think we are. You're going to find a lot of the stuff. It might be very personal development 101 type stuff, psych 101, very cliched things. Fear of success, fear of intimacy, blah, blah, blah. Don't dismiss these things because you think, well, no, it can't be that because that's so obvious. I've already worked on that. I'm already past that. You know what? Guess what? You're probably not. Do you have some weird complex shit that might be getting in the way? Possibly. Is it the major thing? Highly unlikely. So when you start examining these energetic conflicts, the part of you that the fear and all of that, again, emotionally speaking, most of us were basic bitches. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't dismiss all these obvious things and think, well, it must be something deeper because, again, it's too obvious, it's too cliche. Or you think because it's so obvious, you've already heard it so much, you think, well, yeah, I must have already worked on that. It might be something very basic. You have a fear of intimacy with relationships because you've been hurt before. Again, not something sexy and exciting and complex and complicated, but that might be your big issue. You might be holding yourself back in your business because essentially you still really fear criticism and what people think about you, and you're just not putting yourself out there because you're worried about people disagreeing with you or not liking you or saying mean things about you or whatever. So yeah, there's a part of you that might not want what you want. You have to examine why. It might be something basic. Don't dismiss it because it's basic. It's good that it's these bigger basic things and it's not these complex, complicated things. You don't want it to be that because that stuff takes more effort to find. Anything weird, when it needs to come up, it'll come up. Don't go digging for the weird shit and dismiss the basic stuff. It's probably the basic things. And it's good that it's these big, major issues. They're easier to fix. The second thing you want to think about is, do you think you deserve what you want? Issues of worthiness and deserving, everyone has them to some degree. When we think of these issues about people not thinking they're good people and they don't deserve what they want, we tend to think of these very extreme cases of the people that clearly, like, they loathe themselves for some reason. They did some terrible, horrible thing, like they killed somebody, and then they think they're a bad person, right? It's not just those types of people that struggle with those sorts of issues. Anybody can have it. And you might have this issue not because you think you're some kind of bad person or you did a bad thing, but just from a place more of, well, who am I to get everything I want? What makes me so special? I don't really do so much, I'm not some amazing person. Why would I get to have so for a lot of us, that's going to be the end of the spectrum we're on. Not because we did some horrible thing or because we loathe ourselves like to the deepest fiber of our being. It's more of what makes me so special type energy. So that's another thing you want to explore. Do you think you deserve what you want? Do you think you're worthy of receiving it? And on the surface level, a lot of us would be like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm an okay person. Why not? I get the universe. I get unlimited. And we have this intellectual understanding and we intellectually think these things, but on an emotional level, how we feel is often very different. So that's another thing, worthiness and deserving. Again, it might not be because you're some terrible person, you think you deserve a terrible life because you did a bad thing. For a lot of us, again, it's going to be maybe that other end of the spectrum where it's just like, well, what's so special about me? I'm not so amazing. I'm not sitting there trying to save humanity. I'm not doing anything so special that makes me so deserving. You're worthy and deserving just for the fact that you exist here. Just the fact that you're here, you're entitled to all the best life has to offer and all the best that the universe can arrange for you, provided you're in an energy to receive it. You just have to believe that. There's no logical argument you'll be able to present to your mind to make you feel worthy and deserving. That's with anything with this energy work. You just have to weigh the shitty stuff you believe against these things that intuitively in your heart feel right and feel true to you, and trust that knowing is valid. And then you decide to just discard anything not in line with that. So yeah, self-sabotage. What negative associations do you have with getting the thing that you want? Is there a part of you that has a negative association with it? If you're successful, is there a fear around that? If you come from a blue collar, we don't have money, at least we're honest type family, do you think your family won't like you if you are successful and have a lot of money? Are you afraid of intimacy with a relationship? Again, it's probably going to be basic stuff. There's a part of you that doesn't want what you want probably, and you have to explore why that is. And do what you need to do to work with that energy. That's going to be different for everyone because everyone's going to find maybe different things are getting in the way. And yeah, do you think you deserve what you want? And again, understand how your mind works. Anything that's new is scary. Even if that new seems better to a part of your mind, a bigger part of your mind is like, no, thank you. Another thing too you have to think about with this is the way your mind operates and the way it wants to control you, like the ego part of your mind, not the higher mind that knows all of this wonderful stuff. All of these, most personal development, beliefs, spiritual, all of that stuff, pretty much all of it is a threat to your mind. So it doesn't like you to believe these things, and it tries to keep you from from changing in that way, and it'll find ways to sabotage you. So yeah, that's just, you have to be aware of how your mind operates and how it basically has no use for your happiness. It has no use for your positive change. It has no use for you embodying these sorts of energies and perspectives and beliefs, because it's all a giant threat to it. Because when thinking and feeling and believing that way, all your mind's bullshit. You're like, what is, oh yeah, no, like you're crazy. Like, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. So you just have to be aware of how your mind operates, and how at every turn it's just going to try to pull you away from this work, pull you away from these changes, because again, it has no use for any of that. Not only does it have no use for it, again, all of this is a very big threat to its existence, its hold on you. So yeah, self-sabotage, it's, it could be subtle. It's a dramatic word like sabotage. Again, we think of the people that just outright hate themselves or have these really big issues, and then they just try to, sabotage their life in these most obvious of ways. But everyone does it to some degree, again, because there's a fear of getting what you want. There's a negative association. Change is scary. Even though you don't like where you are now, you know what to expect every day when you wake up and it's comfortable. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of the stuff you uncover with the energetic conflicts, it's probably going to be basic. It's not going to be these big complicated things. It's probably going to be, again, emotionally speaking, most of us were basic bitches, and it's not going to be complex. So don't overcomplicate this inner search. Don't assume it's some deep, dark, hidden thing in the deep recesses of your subconscious mind that's like crazy. It's probably not. Some of that stuff, we all have that stuff. Is it the major stuff? Probably not. It's probably more basic stuff that you've probably intellectually processed or you've dismissed because it's just so cliche. It has even no meaning to you. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's definitely not it. But it's probably it. That's what it is. Hi, Jane. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so that's it with the self-sabotage. Like I said in the beginning, the theory of manifesting and the reality, there's a big difference, because the theory is not accounting for a lot of stuff in human energy that's going to be an issue for someone that's trying to consciously influence their reality by way of energy management. So yeah, these are things you just have to be on the lookout for. It's only going to be a problem if you resist this stuff and you don't want to do the work, but it's really not that bad, and it's not that hard if you just lean into it. But yeah, so think about that today. Is there a part of you that doesn't want what you want? There's a negative association with it. And again, if you have this negative association, you will sabotage your efforts to get it because you don't want it. Do you think you deserve what you want? Again, worthiness and deserving issues. For most of us, it's going to be the end of the spectrum of what's so special about me? Why do I get to have everything I want? Not so much, oh my God, I fucking hate myself and I'm a terrible person and I don't deserve shit. You might be there too. And if you are, you work on that too. But what my point with that is the worthiness and deserving recognizes for a lot of us, it's more subtle and it's on that end of the scale. It's not this big dramatic thing. So it's easy to dismiss it because we're not in that dramatic space. But for a lot of us, it's not going to be there. It's going to be that. Hi, Betty. Yeah, right. Because you're afraid of what other people would think. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, it's not big, complicated, weird things. It's there's a reason, like when you read about psychology, right, study of human behavior, and you read all this stuff and like, oh yeah, duh, I know that. And of course we know all this stuff because we're human, and that's what it's the study of us. So these obvious these Psych 101 things, the personal development cliches, for a lot of us, that's going to be the major issue. It's not going to be some weird thing. So when you are examining this again, don't just dismiss the cliches and the Psych 101 stuff, because I guarantee you that's probably going to be the issue. It's not going to be the weird thing. Some of it might be the weird stuff. Is it going to be the major thing? Again, probably not. So yeah, self-sabotage, it's a big energetic issue for a conscious creator, because if you truly wanted the things you want, you probably have, you know what I'm saying? You'd probably have them. So there's a part of you, a big part of it for a lot of us is, again, a part of us, we don't want it or we don't think we deserve it. On a deeper emotional level. Another thing too, like when I'm talking about all this, just in general, you have to be on the lookout for mistaking intellectual understanding and intellectual acceptance of things for true transformation on an emotional level. So what's happening here and here is often very, very different. And since we're so used to processing everything from the level of our mind, we think, oh yeah, well, I know that. It's like, yeah, okay, you fucking know, but do you feel it? Do you believe it to be true? And then when we check in here, we're kind of like, oh yeah, on this level, I'm still not there yet. I've just been intellectually understanding everything, and you can't do energy work from the level of your mind. It doesn't matter what you understand with your mind. If you haven't transformed on an energetic level and you haven't accepted these things on an emotional heart level, like, and you actually feel this way, intellectual understanding, your energy, your reality is not created at the level of intellect. So just intellectual understanding is not going to be sufficient. That's where we all start. You can't help it because we have our mind, and that's where we take in our information and we're processing everything. But so you always have to be checking in emotionally, and you have to be honest with what you find there, because if you're not honest with what's happening emotionally and you just keep thinking, well, if I understand things with my mind, that's sufficient, it's not sufficient, because intellect won't change your energy. These worlds are different. They don't mix. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. For more content, head over to livelifemadetorder.com. I have blog posts, podcasts. I have my videos on YouTube now. I have a link to my YouTube channel. They're not all uploaded yet. I'm kind of in the process of doing that. Information about my coaching services. I have a lot of products on offer. Yeah, that's it. So have a good day or night. Bye-bye.